The ability to identify liquidity in the markets is extremely important. When you can identify these high impact points, you essentially gain a view almost from a completely different dimension. When you truly understand this concept, you begin to find that there are certain magnet areas in the markets where price is drawn towards. But the main issue is this: not every single liquidity point has the exact same value. Some areas are going to be stronger than others, and it's these areas that we should be waiting around for. See, that's the point that most traders leave outside of their trading plan. There's an actual hierarchy of liquidity that exists in the markets. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down that exact hierarchy from start to finish so we can start to build a solid trade plan. And where we're going to get into as well is some live case studies so we can see how it works in the live markets. By the way, if you don't know, my name's Diamant and I am literally here every single week bringing some more value to you so you can get 1% closer to profitability. So let's get straight into it. And here it is, the liquidity resistance hierarchy. This video is going to be very simple. We're going to build up in stages and we're going to get to the point where we fully understand this roadmap, because if you do, it will make your understanding so much clearer as compared to all the other SMC and ICT traders. So we're going to build up into it. Now, the first thing we've got to understand are the main types of liquidity. Now, most of you are going to sit here and think, okay, I already know that, but we'll just recap it for 1 second. You've got trendline liquidity, very simple. All you're going to look for is multiple touch points. Eventually, we're going to burst through all of that. Equal highs and equal lows. Essentially, when you see a buildup of liquidity at multiple touch points in one area, you essentially wait for that liquidity sweep and then further move down. And then the final bit that most people actually skip out on is exactly this: the weak high and weak low, and strong high and strong low. Now, it's very important we understand this concept, because if you fail to differentiate between weak and strong areas, you're also going to struggle when it comes to liquidity as well. So why is this considered a weak high or a weak low? Well, essentially a weak high is going to be weak as soon as price cannot break some type of structure from that level. So for example, if price did all of this and it failed to break this level over here, it would be considered weak. Whereas if you compare it to the strong high or low, what you're seeing at this point is price at this high caused a further change of character downwards. Therefore, this was the last most important piece of structure before we got that very strong move. Now, when it comes to liquidity, what does this essentially mean? If this weak high is still positioned at that level, we can expect that we're essentially going to burst through that level very easily. However, if it's a strong high or low, it's going to be very difficult to break past that level. Now, does that mean that every single time we're going to respect it and then continue all the way downwards? No. What we're really looking for is that institutional sweep. An institutional sweep is really going to be concerned with that strong high and low, both in the uptrend and in the downtrend as well. So very simple, the main types of liquidity. Now, the next things we actually need to look at is an institutional liquidity sweep, and we're going to build into this. Essentially, it moves something like this. In an uptrend, we're going to be moving towards the upside. Some type of supply or demand zone is going to be generated, and we can clearly see that what we're looking for is something like this, where we're looking at a pullback. Now, in terms of the pullback, we obviously have our point of interest. Now, what happens at this point of interest is very, very key. If we bring into the idea, the whole idea of strong highs and lows into the lower time frame, that's where we get institutional liquidity sweep. So what is an institutional liquidity sweep? Essentially, it's something like this, where price is moving towards the downside. Eventually, we get a full-on change of character. And at this point, what you're expecting is for price to do something like this, where it literally just rebounds and pushes toward the upside. However, what it does instead is it sweeps this strong low over here, and then it decides to continue upwards. Now, as soon as people see this, they've got a sweep above here and a sweep below here. They remain in this idea that they are very confused. What you need to do is you really need to look at the intricacies of it. This was our change of character. We started to build up a strong low liquidity point over here. We got the sweep, and now we're starting to get the reversal. It's not always very easy to understand, but let's put it into context. As you can see at this exact point over here, once we get the pullback, we're starting to get a leg down again and again and again, and eventually price taps into this area. At that point, that's when we're engaged. We're really starting to look at the intricacies of the entire move. Once we start to get a move outside of this area and we get a full-on change of character, this is essentially where we're going to be waiting for that pullback. Now the pullback at most times is only going to be something like this and you can simply get into it. But note this, if you get a pullback and it continues on and on and on and on, and it sweeps this area while still remaining within this point of interest over here on the lower time frames, this is really where we're going to be identifying that institutional liquidity sweep. So to make it very, very clear, our institutional liquidity sweep is going to be very simple. On the lower time frames, we wait for the change of character. We then wait for a sweep below that strong low that caused the change of character. And then eventually we're going to wait for the pullback and a continuation to this area over here. So how is this going to determine our liquidity hierarchy? Well, let's get straight into that in just a second. Now, quickly before we get into everything, if you are looking to get funded with one of the most trusted prop firms in the entire industry, then FundedNext is going to be the choice for you. They have literally stayed on top of this game for the longest while with over 5-star 30,000 reviews on Trustpilot. One of the key things that they actually do is they give you incentives that no other prop firm actually gives you. For example, if you don't get paid out within 24 hours of requesting it, they pay you an extra $1,000 on top. 15% profit share from the actual challenge phase, so you're still making money from the very beginning. And the challenge is very reasonable as well. 8% in phase 1, 5% in phase 2, beating some of the other competitors in the entire industry. And by the way, you can literally get funded from as little as $59. And also, if you do use the code Diamant at checkout, you'll get 120% reward added for your first payout. So now we understand what our institutional liquidity sweeps are. Let's put it into action. Starting from the very bottom, the hardest bit of liquidity to actually reach is going to be a strong high with institutional sweep. So what do we mean by that? Essentially, it's something like this. Let's say, for example, somebody wants to get into this exact position over here. They've seen this change of character and they've seen some sort of sweep. Some people might be aiming for that sweep and eventually for price to go for this take profit over here. But understand this. This high over here has caused a change of character, and then it's also had an institutional sweep on the lower time frame. So remember what we talked about. It had the change of character, then eventually it had the institutional sweep. That makes it very difficult for price to actually break through this level. So what do we mean by all of this? Well, essentially, you cannot expect for price to have this little pullback and eventually to continue all the way to this level up top. That's just something that's not too realistic. Then we move on into the next level, which is going to be a strong high or low without an institutional sweep. So as you can see over here, we've got our sweep of liquidity. However, the rest in liquidity at the top, for example, it could be lower time frame equal highs, is still remaining there. Therefore, we can expect that price will give us a little pullback and eventually start to push upwards. This is going to be our second tier of strong highs and strong lows. The next thing is going to be our weak high and weak low with institutional sweeps and without as well. So let's look into that. As you can see, we are clearly in this uptrend where prices continue to push up again and again and again. Eventually, let's say, for example, we got into this particular area, this point of interest, we can expect for price to very easily pull back into this area and then eventually take profit right at the top. Now, again, this is going to be with an institutional sweep. So on the lower time frame, it does make it slightly harder to reject or to move past this area. Therefore, you can expect some types of reactions from this particular zone up top. Now, looking at something that won't get the reactions is exactly like this. Price pulls back into this point of interest. You can clearly see there's been no institutional sweep at all. Equal highs right at the top. So essentially, you're going to wait for price to give you that pullback and easily it's going to break past this area. That is going to be our fourth tier of liquidity resistance. Now, our easiest level of resistance is going to be imbalances. So we've got the strong highs and lows out of the way. We've got the weak highs and lows out of the way. And now we're starting to look at imbalances. Imbalances are going to be the easiest areas for price to move into. Essentially, this is what I like to talk about when it comes to the magnets of the markets. You're going to be looking for open-ended price where it's literally just sell price action or literally just buy price action. And easily price will start to break through it. And sometimes it might not even take a lot of order flow. It might even just shoot up straight into it. And exactly like that as well. Where you might start to get a bit of resistance is obviously at the top. But that's why you ensure that your take profit model, for example, is only something as minimal as this. You're not going to get the highest risk to reward factor. However, what you are going to get is consistency in a way. So if you can actually memorize this entire thing and screenshot it on screen as well, I'll just move away for a second, screenshot this entire thing. The liquidity resistance, if you stick to this every single day, you're going to realize how much of a difference it actually makes. So now let's actually get into a live market example. So in these live examples, I'm going to give you two scenarios, one with low resistance liquidity and the other one with high resistance. And you could just see how easily price flows into the low resistance as compared to the high. Now the first example is this imbalance. Clearly we can see on this 15-minute chart for GBP USD, it's a very clear downtrend. Every single time creating lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Now where it's very key to understand is whenever you have these imbalances on the move upwards and you've still respected structure towards the downside, then eventually you know this price is easily going to get broken through. And that's exactly what happens. All you simply have to do is wait for the pullback, position yourself into some sort of entry, and then aim for at least this imbalance over here. Now again, you can aim for the lows that are, continuing on with these breaker structures, but you know for sure your first take profit can be at this area over here. And this just repeats over and over and over again. Now, on the second scenario, where we're going to be looking at is the high resistance liquidity. So this is where we have a strong low with a sweep. Now you can clearly see for the longest while, price has literally just been moving in this downtrend. But where did we start to see a complete flip of that? Well, it's as soon as we got our first sign of a change of character. Now, to be fair, when it comes to this change of character, it was only a wick break. Now, that usually means there might be some sort of manipulation, but when you really look at the 5-minute chart, it even engulfs above and everything like that. So, what happened before this change of character? Well, what we can clearly see is there was a very, very nice build-up of liquidity right at the bottom of these lows over here. Price eventually swept this area, and as soon as it swept it, it had the change of character. So what does this mean? Right before the change of character, right before this was confirmed as a strong low, what we started to see was institutions started to come in and sweep this particular area. What does this actually mean? This therefore becomes a high resistance liquidity zone. So, does this mean it's going to be harder to break through or easier to break through? As compared to something like the imbalance, which is quite easy to break through, and you've obviously got an imbalance of orders in the markets. Something like this, the institutions have already dealt with that area. They are no longer interested in sweeping this particular zone or even further moving down from there. Therefore, what you can expect is as soon as we see the high resistance liquidity zone, the institutional sweep, then the medium time frame change of character, and then finally the pullback, all you're going to be waiting for is for price to pull back to some sort of point of interest, and then you're going to be getting in. And this is exactly going to be the difference between scenario 1 and scenario 2. So now that we've kind of started to look at that in the live examples, this entire thing should start to make sense. Every single time you want to look for a low liquidity or a low resistance liquidity run, look for imbalances. Whenever it's something more resistant, then it's definitely going to be the strong highs and lows with the institutional sweeps as well. So guys, I hope that entire video made sense and it's really something you can apply in the live markets as well. And if you did like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, everything like that. And I will see you all on the next video. Click one of these links over here.